Have you ever experienced something so weird that you felt like you literally stepped into a different reality? Most people call these glitches in the matrix. But as it turns out, the human brain is the biggest glitch of them all. Today, we're looking at creepy, unexplainable stories and the actual science that explains why our reality isn't always what it seems. Let's get weird. Mandela Effect. It's named after Nelson Mandela. Back in the 2000s, thousands of people across the globe were shocked to hear he died in prison. The weird part? They all remembered his funeral on TV in the 1980s. They remembered the widow's speech, but it never happened. He was released in 1990 and lived for decades. It's not just him. People remember the Monopoly Man having a monocle or Pikachu having a black tip on his tail. But in this reality, those things never existed. Science. This is a glitch in our collective memory called confabulation. Our memories aren't video recordings. They're more like Wikipedia pages that anyone can edit. When we recall a memory, our brain actually rebuilds it from scratch. If you see a rich guy like the Monopoly Man, your brain automatically patches a monocle onto him because it fits the stereotype. If enough people suggest a detail, your brain just accepts it as a fact to make the story feel complete. The shadow in the corner. You wake up in the middle of the night, but you can't move a single muscle. You're pinned to the bed. Then you see it. A tall, dark figure standing in the corner of your room, slowly moving toward you. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. You feel a heavy weight on your chest like someone is sitting on you. It feels 100% real, like an unauthorized presence or a menacing entity is right there in the room. Science. This is sleep paralysis. When you sleep, your brain paralyzes your muscles so you don't act out your dreams. Sometimes your brain wakes up before your body does. You're conscious, but your muscles are still locked. To explain why you can't move, your panicked brain enters a threat detection mode and hallucinates a shadow figure. It's a literal software crash between your dream state and reality. The 20-minute time slip. You're driving home on a highway you've taken 1,000 times. You're listening to music, thinking about dinner. Suddenly, you snap out of it and realize you're already parked in your driveway. You have zero memory of the last 15 or 20 minutes. You don't remember taking the exit, stopping at the lights, or even turning the wheel. It's like you were teleported or slipped through a hole in time. Science. This is a phenomenon called highway hypnosis. When you perform a highly repetitive task, your brain switches to its default mode network. Your subconscious takes over the driving, while your conscious mind goes offline to save energy. You didn't lose time. Your brain just decided those 20 minutes weren't important enough to save to the hard drive. You were on autopilot, literally. False awakenings. You wake up to your alarm, get out of bed, brush your teeth, and start making coffee. But then you notice something is slightly off. Maybe the clock is backwards or the door's in the wrong place. Suddenly you wake up again. You're back in bed. You realize the whole morning routine was a dream. You get up again, start your day. And then you wake up a third time. It's a terrifying loop that makes you question if you'll ever actually wake up. Science. This is a glitch between your brain's deep rendering mode and being awake. It's a literal software crash during your brain's boot-up process. Your mind is conscious enough to start planning your day, so it creates a hyper-realistic simulation of your routine while your body is still asleep. Essentially, your brain is trying to load the real-world file, but it gets stuck in a preview loop. It's the closest thing to the movie Inception that exists in biology. The passenger in the window. You're sitting on a bus or a train at night, looking at your own reflection in the dark window. Suddenly, you notice something chilling. Your reflection is wearing a different hat, or it's smiling while you are perfectly serious. For a split second, you're convinced you're looking at a different person who looks exactly like you, a doppelganger that's following you. Science. This is caused by pareidolia and the Troxler effect. Our brains are obsessed with recognizing faces, but they are also very prone to fading images that don't change. When you stare at a reflection in low light, your neurons get tired and start to distort the image. Your brain tries to fill in the gaps, and because it's operating in a high alert state, it creates a distorted, wrong version of your own face. It's not a double, it's just your visual processing system lagging. The call from the pocket. You're walking down the street and you feel your phone vibrate in your pocket. You're 100% sure you felt that distinct buzz. You pull it out, but the screen is black. No messages, no calls, no notifications. You put it back, and a minute later, and there it is again. A clear vibration. You check again. Still nothing. It feels like a ghost is trying to text you. Science. This is phantom vibration syndrome. Because we check our phones hundreds of times a day, our brains have become hypersensitive to any sensation near our legs. A slight rub of your clothes or a muscle twitch is immediately translated by your brain as a phone vibration. Your nervous system is now hard-coded to expect a digital signal, creating a tactile hallucination. The future memory. You walk into a coffee shop you've never visited in a city you've never been to. Suddenly the world stops. You know exactly what the girl at the next table is about to say. You know that the waiter is about to drop a spoon. It's not just, "I've been here," it's, "I know what happens next." It feels like you've lived this exact day before. Science. This is déjà vécu, a more intense version of déjà vu. It's caused by a neural lag in the temporal lobe. One part of your brain processes the present moment, but due to a tiny delay, it accidentally sends that information to the long-term memory section first. By the time your conscious mind sees it, the brain already says, "Oh, I have a record of this in the archives." It's a filing error in your brain's memory department. Alice in Wonderland. Imagine you're lying in bed and suddenly, the ceiling feels miles away. Your hands look like they belong to a giant, or your phone shrinks to the size of a postage stamp. The room around you stretches and warps like a glitchy video game. It's not a dream, it's happening while you're wide awake. For a few minutes, you're literally living in a distorted reality where space and time no longer make sense. Science. This isn't magic. It's a processing error in your brain's image engine. Your eyes see the world correctly, but your visual processing unit fails to calculate the scale. It often happens during migraines or just before sleep when the neural pathways responsible for depth perception lose synchronization. Essentially, your internal spatial calibration system crashes, and your brain starts guessing the size of objects. And it guesses wrong. At the end of the day, our reality is just a high-speed rendering controlled by our brains. So, the next time your matrix glitches, don't panic. Just check your system settings. Which of these glitches has happened to you? Let me know in the comments.